Hello everyone and welcome back. It's me, Game Junkie. We're here live again, hopefully for about an hour, running through the bits and the bobs that we started with yesterday. So we'll be on episode 2. So where we finished last night was essentially finalising the what were we doing last night? I think we were in the process of building up the stockpile for the bricks over here, if I recall correctly. Let me have a look. So, yeah, I think we were, weren't we? We were in the process of building up the stockpile because we needed to build some more construction parts. So, let's unpause the game and start something to go on. So I think what I might do is start to build up a bit of a, because that'll only hold 37. So I think if we build a loose storage pod somewhere around there, put that down as being dirt and prioritize that, as well as, oh crikey, let's cancel that very quickly. Start that again with the pod just there, again putting in the dirt, and then again we will just attach the conveyor belt like so. So hopefully that should give us some construction parts over there. And that should aid the amount of bricks that are being sent through. So again, it's all a fine balancing act to begin with. So yeah, with plenty of wood, building up nicely there. We just need to, as I say, build the construction stockpile up somewhat. So again here, what I'm going to do is just, in fact, I'm not going to boost it because it looks like we're fairly low on the electronic parts. So let's just check in with the dock. Yeah, crikey. Okay, so we haven't got actually any electronic parts left, which is the reason for our maintenance falling there. So that's our next priority, I think, is going to be getting the electronic parts set up. So let's look at building some of those as we speak. So we're going to need some rubber and copper. Okay, so I'm trying to think now whether what we're shipping as a bit of a priority. Perhaps we can look at building our copper somewhere over here. I know our copper ore is over there, but I think we can just cart that over with a storage facility is my plan. Okay, so we could do with perhaps having a blast furnace over here somewhere. For the time being, just put it there, but we're not going to build it, so we'll just pause it there. We have our copper. Let's select that now so we don't forget. So yeah, we can have our copper and copper scrap with coal. Brings our 24. Again, we're going to perhaps need our metal casters somewhere around there. Now we've got these tools function, all we need to do now is just hit the copy function, and it gives us a template. So it's just those short little shortcuts, and again we just hit the X to move it over. Oh crikey, it's already building. Stop. Again, the pause tool here, which is a good tool. If you hit that, it will basically not that one, planning mode, sorry. That'll put this overlay on. So now anything that we select, it won't build straight away. So what I'll do already is just get rid of that because we don't want that to start building. Copper electrolysis. I don't know what the formula is on that. So that takes 24 with 4 water. So what we can do is initially put one down there. So what does that make? That makes 12. Yeah, so we get 2 of these to the 1. So what will happen here is we'll get our copper ore floating through the molten channels once we put the channels in a minute. That will create us 24 between the 2 sites there, which will in turn will be electrolyzed, where we can then look at having our copper sheets. So we can just put some storage down to house that for the time being. What I could do with, where's our trees moving in? So we'll take the trees away from there and we'll start harvesting that area there, just to give us a bit of space. And then if we cut those and put these as high as we possibly can up there, somewhere about there, that should give us a nice space then to route the construction elements in for the copper / electrical parts. So what do we have at the minute? Let's put our copper there. So I'm not going to unpause that just yet, just because we do have some copper on the ship dock there. So if we come down initially, rubber and copper will make 4, so we can do that. I think we'll start that somewhat over there, and again we'll select that recipe and we shall move that up slightly, put on a quick delivery. So what that should now do is enable us to start building some of the copper over there. Let's just see how we're doing with our rubber. So our rubber, again I'm going to build another warehouse there just so we can build up a bit of a stockpile of our rubber. Put that close with a bit of a conveyor belt just to stop the trucks having to come over each time. Get that building nicely. churn out. Plenty of rubber there for us then. What I will do is I'll just put this on boost for the time being, just so it gives us the double, just so we can start getting the copper elements coming in. And again, we can also put in our warehouse to house our electronics. Come on. So once our electronics starts to build, hopefully it should be a case that that gets taken over here, so we can start building up our maintenance once more. Come on. So again, what's now happening is obviously all the copper plates are being brought over from the dock there to be stored locally here. What we really could do with now is obviously our electronics building up to be taken over to maintenance. So again, I'm going to just upgrade that priority slightly because we don't need all this copper being taken as a priority. We need it to be turned into our maintenance, and we need that ASAP. So I'll do it even more, put that as a 3. Come on. So that's maxed out. Oh, these darn bricks. What is going on? Why is it not listening? Come on. So we'll get some more research on the go. Perhaps go with our irrigated farms there. So, finally, there's some electronic parts being delivered to our maintenance depot just in time by the looks of this. So that should, in theory, start to build up our maintenance parts, which, as you can see, is coming up very slowly. We could do with that coming up rather quickly, because otherwise we're going to spiral with things breaking down very quickly. So it appears that the ship has been out and found other islands that we can now look to trade with, as well as bringing in our cargo ship technology. So I think once we're in a stable situation where we've stabilised the initial foundations in terms of industry, we can then look at obviously expanding further. But what we really don't want to do now is obviously lose where we're at. Real construction parts are starting to increase, which is good. I think the next point then is we'll put another unit storage over here, just so we can start stockpiling up the bricks for as and when the loose storage starts to build up, which it appears to be doing nicely now. But not there, just there. So those bricks really are taking a while to build up, and it is, by the looks of it, just the dirt that's holding us up. But as I say, the dirt is piling up now in the loose storage, which is going to be a massive help. Do a quick build on that one just so it can start emptying the conveyor there. Get all those notifications. Bro. So the maintenance now is coming up, it's close to that 50% marker, so that in theory should mean that we are out of the woods in terms of our vehicles breaking down. So how are we doing for copper? Let's just make sure we're not going to run out, because that would not be good. So yeah, I've still got 230 still at the shipyard, so I'm not going to start unpausing all this just yet. But what I can do whilst I'm waiting is just put in the molten channels and also our conveyor belts. So yeah, one thing to note with this as well is that although this is in planning mode, so theoretically it's not actually built yet, trucks essentially still do avoid that area, so it's best to sort of avoid planning too much, because essentially the trucks will treat this as though it's there, and obviously it will have to be started to divert around large plants and things like that. What I don't want to do is forget the smokestack, so we'll just put that in there before we forget. So now our maintenance has built up. I'm going to just disable the Unity boost there. Bro, that's it nicely. So I've got 60 construction parts in. What was I going to do? So I think what I will do is perhaps build another one of those. That can be our mechanical part. This one after that can then go and continue with our construction parts there. But then saying that, I'm not going to make that change just yet. Just because, again, I'm conscious that these bricks haven't matured just yet, which is really disappointing. I might just boost that for the time being, just to give us a bit of a head start with the brick production. I'm now thinking about just putting the conveyor belts onto that. But again, I can now see that this isn't producing any steel. And why is it not producing any iron? Sorry, not steel, iron. That appears to be now a iron ore issue. Okay, so let's up the amount of trucks associated with that, because again, if we don't, what will happen is that there'll be another bottleneck with the iron. So again, we now need to rebalance the abstraction of the trucks. Another issue, so vehicle parts, we appear to have run out completely. So can we, for the time being, look to create some of the vehicle parts from here? Let's get the one thing at a time. We'll get the construction parts into the shed. And we'll also put our conveyor belt into there, just so that'll free up the trucks. And it now appears once more we are out of construction parts. So we'll unpause that, just so we can get some parts built. How much does that need? 3. So once we get our 3, so apparently I've lost video feed, so I do apologise if you can't see the screen. I have no idea. My end is showing fine. We have a couple of viewers, so if you can see the screen, if you can just let me know, that'd be great. So yeah, we'll just enabled the recipe now for this one to start building up the vehicle parts as well. Hopefully in a minute that should start producing. If not, I will disable the mechanical part element. For those that have just joined the chat, welcome. Get some more research on the go. We'll go for the addicts, I think, just so it gives us a few more options. Oh, is it building the bits? No, it is not. So let's just disable that for the time being, so we can start building up some vehicle parts, so we can get some more trucks on the go. Real. So that is chucking out the molten once more, so we should start producing sufficient quantities of iron. How's the old diesel plant coming on over here? So yeah, full diesel, full rubber. That's always good. Where is the truck? Now it's been to go and fill up an excavator by the looks of that. Right, so we're still waiting for the vehicle parts. Let's just boost that for the time being. Right, so this is now delayed on the water. So what we will do is we shall invest in some water. If I can find it over there. So if we put our water supply, that should work just there. And what we can do is connect that over to the water supply just there. Quick deliver on that. Crikey. 40 construction parts now. So for the time being, I might as well save the Unity and just remove that because we're not picking up the water, it's bone dry. How many have we got? 42. We should have nothing. There we go. So what I will do is just demolish this now. It's going to be redundant now. I've got the pump. fact, before I do that, I'm going to just get rid of that. And that little bit just there too. Why, here you ask? Because I'm going to put a storage tank in there just so, again, we've got a bit of resilience should we need some water in a hurry. Something like that will do absolutely beautiful. Water back on that one. Got that pipe good to go. Crikey, here we go again, another 30. So let's just turn that off. So hopefully this truck is going to take some water to the brickworks, which it looks like it's going to. Bro, that'll help the bricks, which will help the construction parts, which will then help us build this. So, come on then, let's get some construction parts built. Just speed up some time. How are we doing for vehicle parts? So, bro, the vehicles have been made. Let's just check on how many mechanical parts we've got. Plenty. Bang. Right, the water should fill up nicely there, which will help us, and indeed it is. Yeah, cool, so that's going to be building up the brick supply very nicely there for us. And our mechanical parts should start to be built imminently. We can start to build that one there now. So what we can now do is look to then return. We can turn off our vehicle parts, put that back onto construction parts, just so that helps us reinstate the conveyor belt there. So that's now producing our mechanical parts. And what I like to do again is just have that running in the background. Can connect that up to the conveyor system. For the mechanical parts there. Research is now finished. Let's have a look at what we want to look at investing in. So we might as well just finish up with all the first phase of the research. We'll do the crop rotation actually as well. So everything should be coming along nicely now. Disable the boost on that one. Selected the wrong one, that's concrete slabs, we don't want that one, we want bricks. We'll put the boost on that just to start that brick production once more. So that should be now 3 plants producing our construction parts at 12, 6 and 12, so that's what, 30 a minute, and that'll consume 12. So hopefully we can activate that, which will help us build up that stockpile once more. We'll put a conveyor belt on there. So again, it's worthwhile keeping an eye on the coal supply because that seems to have dwindled a little bit. So again, that's probably because we've only got the one truck and we have, so let's just up that to 3. Bearing in mind we've got quite a few industries now relying on that. We're going to have the coal over there as well as the coal over the diesel area, oil production plant. And again, I am noticing that we're now 280 on the copper, so I do want to start looking at bringing that online so I can build up the plant. But again, we've got 11 workers and this is going to require 8, so in fact for the time being we are going to pause that, because what we will need to do is set up another mining tower for our copper ore. There it is, can't see it for looking. So again, doesn't really matter where that is, but that can be over there. And whilst we're waiting for everything else, we might as well get another excavator on the go, just so we can use that up there, and then we might as well get another 2 pickups lined up. And get that built ready for the excavator. So that takes 9. That's taking 9. That's taking 4.5. That's taking 7.5. So again, we're almost borderline now on a deficit. So some consideration will have to be given to boosting this for the time being. So we'll do that now, because otherwise we'll run out of iron, which will not be good. We'll reinstate that so we can get some more workers en route. Those trees are coming down nicely there. Oh, so the excavator is going to be on its way. Let's just resize that area just so I can include this little, that little nibble there. areas, and we can just again prioritize that being the copper ore. Right, things are moving along swiftly. Our coal supply is on the increase. We're steady on the wood. We're maintaining roughly the iron. The brick production, again, up and down. The next biggest worry by the looks of this is going to be our diesel. So let's just have a quick look at the situation over there. So we have got enough oil. This is going to be the coal, isn't it? So again, we'll just put another coal bin there just so that can be kept up with conveyor belt, and we'll just ensure that that is kept full, because otherwise we will run out of diesel very, very quickly. Also, the trucks are waiting, not necessarily the most efficient with one just sat there, but it is what it is. So mechanical parts are being built up very nicely. We'll perhaps just look to set up this one, not for the mechanical parts, but for our vehicle parts. Again, I'm still chewing through these construction parts, which isn't necessarily too good. For the time being, we'll move that boost then, just so we can try and save a bit of the Unity, because that will cause a bit of bother. And we'll remove the Unity from there. Yeah, it's the same. I'm just wondering whether it's the same value for concrete slabs and bricks, which it is, so okay. Perhaps we'll just remove the boost from one, just to save on that Unity as much as possible. I don't think we've got anything else on Unity now. Just waiting for vehicle parts. Again, we'll increase the amount of available vehicles. That will help. So again, we are 196 now for the copper plate, so we really could do with getting the copper up and running. So let's unpause that. I appreciate we can't get these underway just yet, but at least we'll have the iron ore ready to go as and when. That should start to fill up the copper as well as the coal. How are we doing with our dumping zone over here? So yeah, that's filling up quite nicely. There's still plenty of room, we don't need to expand that. So I've got a nice pile of construction parts too. It's useful to have. Let's just pause that for the time being because I want to get this built ASAP. I've got 2 trucks there, haven't we? Potentially we could relieve one of those if needs be. There we go, that should start and then give us a bit of vehicle parts, which will be useful to have. So I hope you're having all a wonderful day, good day at work, day off, whatever you've been doing at home. So this game ultimately has had several updates, which include optimization on the water, which, to be fair, you know, looking at that out in the distance, I would say it's pretty smooth. Good animation. How are we doing for the mining area here? Mine quite a bit of the flat surface, so won't be long before that's over. Research then, let's have a look at research 2. And tree planting, why not? So with those new edicts that we did, perhaps we can, let's just suspend that. That should save us some unity. And then hopefully if we give plenty of food, that'll give us some more unity so we don't run out, is the plan. And just as I say that, we're over capacity too. Ugh. So we can stick that one there. Again, quick build on that. That'll also give us a little bit more of a boost. Everything's all good over here by the looks of that. Brill. As soon as we start stockpiling the construction parts, we have to buy things again. It's frustrating, isn't it? So now we have a low food supply. Let's just remove that edict. That should save us a little bit more food. That's all because we haven't selected that. So hopefully that should help with our food consumption. Could upgrade, which will help even more. But for the time being, we'll just monitor our food consumption, I think. Let's see how we get on. Let's get a couple more trucks going. Build that as well as the conveyor belt. So one thing we also now need to put in is the water supply. We can do something a bit like this, and we'll get that built. Again, just so the pipe is all charged, ready to go for when we build the electrolysis plant. Still not putting in the coal, is it? So let's match that with a priority. I think it was 4. So there. Yeah, let's match it. Obviously, we need to start getting some molten copper generated so we can start generating the impure copper for it to eventually be turned into pure copper. There we go. I'm just going to put that belt in place there, which will cause all the trucks to start rerouting, but it is what it is. No trees for the tree harvester, so let's just get rid of that tree to begin with, and then we can follow it up by these. So now I've got research 2 lab, but again at this stage we need to stabilize everything first before we start expanding. So we've got 12 construction parts at the minute. Right, so we can unpause that, start building up the remainder of the construction parts too. Let's see if we add all of this. See what it does. Hopefully that should give us a bit more potato crop. How much have we got stored in here? 116. Okay. So now what will help is because the warehouses are starting to fill up, we should start to see the demand for the construction parts settle down somewhat, so that will alleviate the pressures where we can switch off the iron production somewhat. Again, I'm mindful of this food matter. What we can do actually is let's send the ship out to explore. What I will do is I'll start to plan for putting in another farm just up there. So if we get rid of that tree, hopefully that should give us enough space. He says there, farm. Is that enough? Should just be enough. Oh. Anyone would have anyone would have thought I'd have planned that. And we'll send it back over there just to explore a little further. But also that tree harvester is now hopefully getting rid of that tree. Indeed it is. And again, I'm just going to then start prepping for the removal of this side. So, most welcomed. Also, our truck supply, or demand I should say, is now stable. Our food supply is not. So we are going to have to go with creating another farm. We'll just flip that over so that's married up. And again, we'll just quick build that so we can get our potatoes planted sooner rather than later. Another location explored. Brilliant. So again, more rubber, copper and vehicle parts, as well as ocean drilling technology, which again, that'll be useful in terms of our cargo ships at a later date. I'm just going to slow the time down a little bit just because I think things are slightly getting out of hand. So again, I think it's the soil water level that's doing this here. So we'll upgrade one. I'm not going to upgrade both of them at the time. Now the frustrating thing with this is that the water terminals are going to be this end. Let's get that rocking and rolling with some mining over there. There we go, at least we've got some copper now being resupplied. It's only a slight difference. As you can see, this is more of a rough texture, whereas in the pure copper, it doesn't have that. Pickup cannot reach destination. Where is it trying to go to? Right, okay. So that's because it's there. So let's recover that. And that will remove all the issues there. Mine control tower has no areas to mine. Let's just, again, we'll expand that slightly over there. as well as that strip there. And we can level that off just there. So it now appears we have somewhat more of a power issue. So we can put another power generator in, that's not going to be an issue. Stick there, just there like that. And we're going to be cutting it tight with the food. So the irrigated farm just essentially puts a water tank and a fertility tank at the bottom. Come on, when's the food ready? 0.6 months. So if we put in some sort of fertility break there, it increases our yield. So for every, again, minute, it'll give us 10. Is how that's roughly worked out, as opposed to the 9.3. Where are you going? We've got a full load. Dump that in. Don't let our people starve. I'm not going to build this just yet, but we can pop that there. Ready to go. Hopefully that should help. Well, I don't feel like we've actually achieved that much today, which is disappointing. Right, so we need 20 construction parts as well as 20 electronics. So let's just see how we're doing over there. Boost that to improve our construction parts. We've still got plenty of construction parts there, sorry. So, is it just the electronics? It's just the electronics that are preventing us from using the Unity boost to build that ASAP. Right, so the food supply is increasing, which is good to see. We'll put the we won't do that just yet. We need the power generator ASAP. Let's improve that and prioritize that. Okay, so I think I will call today's stream a halt there. Like I said, I don't really feel like we've achieved that much today, unfortunately. So just a bit of a recap what we've looked at doing then. We've obviously implemented a few extra warehouse buildings to store the excess materials. We created our water pump. We've implemented a copper production facility as well as our electrical manufacturer. So I think moving forward it will be all about efficiency, such as concrete production, cement with the mixer, because it just really isn't efficient to be using this brick supply. It's just the 21 dirt is the real Achilles ankle pinch point for me. And then we can look at escalating the phase 2 of the research. So once more, I thank you for taking time of watching this stream. Again, it's very early days for me. What I would like to say is please be patient. Hopefully I will get better as the time goes on, and hopefully it becomes more entertaining. It's not obviously just going to be Captive Industries. We'll look at other titles, which will be good to see. Obviously I've got the race wheel set up here, not that you can see that on the camera, but we will look at things such as Euro Truck Simulator, Farm Simulator, and other bits and bobs, hopefully that will be of interest to all audiences. So again, I thank you for spending time with me. As ever, if you do find these videos entertaining or interesting, again, please like, subscribe or follow on Twitch, because ultimately that's really what I'm going to need to sort of drive this forward, and build that audience base really. So as ever, thank you for spending your evening with me.